What is good? Coming to you with my short form video of the day. It's Sunday. Yesterday was a pretty dope day. It was actually a pretty average day. I wouldn't say I accomplished too much. Spent probably like 4 or 5 hours watching the UFC fights. They were okay. The main event was Sterling versus O'Malley. O'Malley won in a second round knockout, which, in my opinion, I thought it was a quick stoppage because Sterling was still moving. But, I don't know. I think my prediction was Sterling was going to win by submission in the fourth. So I was wrong on that. But, man, today I woke up, in a pretty weird kind of mood mindset. I woke up kind of feeling like just tired and just not like how I usually feel. And I kind of woke up just thinking like, man, what's the point? What's my purpose? I don't know. I had a just weird feeling today. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of end up having this be another one of my sort of mental reset days where I wouldn't say I did too much, just kind of sat back and just contemplated everything. Yeah, I don't know. Like, even now, I definitely feel better. I'm on a walk, my little 30-minute walk to the basketball court. So, I'm moving around doing stuff, but it's just like, I'm at a point in my life where it's like, well, like, I'm not necessarily waking up with specific things to do that I know are, bringing me money or forwarding my cause. I appreciate and know, like, having a task list and making YouTube videos is gonna, be beneficial to me in the future. But I guess it's maybe because I'm not seeing, you don't really see any, like, real-time benefits of making the videos. So it's kind of like, maybe I'd feel better if, I was making the videos and after, in a week, I got paid. But I think it's just, I'm kind of in a mental place where it's like, I'm kind of doing it for nothing, maybe. So that's why I feel weird. But, man, I don't know. It's just interesting. Just, going through everything, just, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm taking everything day by day and kind of moving how I believe I should be. I know one of my, goals or things that I want to do is be a fighter. And even that, I'm like, man, like, I want to be a fighter, but if I do something, I want to do it at a high level. And I think it'll be kind of delusional for me to think I could be, a championship level fighter, starting my training at, 24. Even though I do feel like I'm, physically gifted, I have a abnormal reach for my height. Right now I'm like 175. I could probably get down, if I were to fight, to like 145 maybe. So, I have things going for me, and I'm smart. But I think it's delusional for me to think, I'd be able to beat people that have been fighting since, they were 14, 15, 16, and just have a bunch of years of technique over me. But I don't know. That's why even with that, I think about, like, maybe if I'm not because also too, I want to preserve a little bit of my cognitive functions, throughout life. I don't need to be taking a bunch of, hits to the head and all that. That's kind of one of the reasons I was okay with not playing football. But I don't know. That's why I'm like, my alternative to that would be maybe being a part of a championship camp or, as I'm training, just building myself and getting to the point where I'm able to work with somebody who's younger than me eventually and help them and build them up to be a champion. So just stuff like that. I guess I'll make this my long form video today. I saw one of the craziest things. I'll insert the video. But it's like in front of one of my neighborhoods, like in the little area I live in, I literally picked up 53 like blunt wrappers that were just littered in front of the neighborhood. Bro, this is like the weirdest thing ever. It's like someone came and dumped all their... There's literally like 20. It's like they literally smoked for a week and then just threw everything out, like in the middle of the street. I wonder what race of people did this. Like, this is actually disgusting, bro. I don't get the purpose of littering like this. Shit, y'all get the point. And again, stuff like that is why I'm like, man, I have to move. And I live in a very nice area, but it's just like, no matter where you are, it's gonna be full. I truly believe it's an America thing too, but because it's hard for me to believe if I was in an Asian country, there would be like just trash, especially in a nicer area. Like, people would just litter like that, because I mean, they'll go to jail. It would be like actual crime. But like, if I was in Japan or South Korea, I know I wouldn't see something like that. But yeah, man, and that wasn't the first time. Like, it's specifically one person, I'm assuming, who they just save up their blunt wrappers for, a whole month or two, and then just throw them in the front of their neighborhood. It's like, and I commented in the video, I'm like, I wonder what race did this. It's hard for me to believe, a white person who's a homeowner would do that, or an Asian person. Like, if I was a betting person, it was a younger black person who doesn't own the property that they're staying in, but they just want to disrespect like the area they live. And that's something like since I was young, I've always like had a respect for the area I lived in. And if I saw trash or something, I would, clean it up, pick it up. But it's like, stuff like that is crazy to me. Because it's like, how can you not respect the area that you live in? How can you not, like, why? And that's like a hood mentality sort of thing of, why are you, like, making the area you live in dirty and trashy? Like, that's so ridiculous to me. And I'll never understand that. Like, if you go to the hood, like, it's like if the houses are, it's a fucked up mindset that people have of, the houses don't look the best, so we don't care, if there's shit in the front yard or if everything else looks like shitty because the houses don't look the best. But it's like, bruh, you can control, like, let's say you don't have the nicest house. That don't mean your street has to be dirty or your front yard has to be dirty, or, just because your house isn't gigantic, the whole street has to just look completely shitty. Like, stuff like that blows me. And another thing is, it's like, even the people in the area, it's like, I have to blame, the white people or everybody else who's living here. Like, they'll sit and walk by that stuff. Like, and it's funny, once I became a real estate agent, that kind of switched a little where I'm like, stuff like that is lowering the property value. If I, were to come show my house, and as they're driving by or walking by, they see 50 blunt, like, the fact that it was literally 53 blunt wrappers. I'll put a picture up. I'm like, bruh, that is crazy. Like, first off, why? Like, you have to think, they specifically, like that was an intentional action that was done. It's because, how do you even, like, you're specifically getting them and holding them to throw them out and litter them? Because there's no way that you smoked 53 blunts in one sitting, or it would actually be 106 blunts in one sitting. So you're buying Grillos, holding them, and then waiting to throw it out. So I don't know, man. Stuff like that blows me. Again, I'm on a walk, on a peaceful walk, and I'm seeing trash and stuff. It's stuff like that really blows me, for real. But I don't know, man. It's like, but yeah, like I was saying, I've always been the type of guy, like, if I see stuff like that, like, actually, this is the first time I ever recorded, me picking it up, because that's probably the third time I've noticed, trash out like that. And I always, like, especially if it's Rillos, I pick it up. But yeah, stuff like that blows me. And I think 99% of people would have just walked by those 53 Rillos and not picked them up or did anything. And I think you're a special kind of a scummy nigga to keep 53 Rillos and then just throw them out in front of, a neighborhood. So I don't know, man. That's why I'm just like, bruh, it's like, I think it's the way I think versus the stuff I see. And I think that's another thing that's leading to me just feeling weird is, man, I consume too much, like, just garbage content instead of, which I speak about that a lot on this channel of, like, I need to stop consuming content and creating it. Because at this point, it's like I'm reading the same book over and over and over. And it's like, there's no need for me to, I've read Cat in the Hat, 1,000 times. I don't need to read it for the, 1,001st time. It's like, I'm not really gaining anything. I get the story, I get the message, so just stuff like that. Like, I'm watching, again, like, girls being ratchet, girls, like, not wanting a man. A thing that is always, like, disgusted me is overweight women. Like I'm seeing overweight women talk about things, and I've always been of the mindset, if you can't do 10 push-ups, like, period, you don't really, like, there's no reason for me to listen to you. Because, again, you don't respect yourself, so how can I expect you to respect me? So it's just simple stuff like that, But it's like, I've always kind of had that mindset, always thought that. And I think you always see they'll be the people that enable that type of behavior. It's usually like lower IQ or lower, physical ability dudes who would just be on some bullshit and have their fat chick, acting wild and doing all types of ridiculous stuff. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's like, I just feel like I'm in a weird headspace all the time being here, trying to maneuver through stuff like life. So I don't know, man. That's kind of all. That's my little tirade for the day. Niggas littering and lowering property value because they're niggas, and then, fat chicks or whatever. I don't know. Like I said, today's kind of, I'm taking it as a mental reset day, where I'm not necessarily following a strict schedule and doing things, this hour I'm doing this hour I'm doing this. I kind of just, man, I laid in bed for like a solid maybe 2 hours, just kind of just thinking and I wasn't even thinking, I was trying to meditate, but my brain it just was not feeling right, wasn't moving right. So I kind of just laid in bed like thoughtless. But I'm back on the grind tomorrow. I'm gonna knock out some videos. I'm obviously gonna work out. I'm gonna work out today too. That's one thing is, certain things I've missed. I jump rope every day. I haven't jump rope the last 2 days, but I refuse to miss a workout. You know what I'm saying? Every day I'm working out, I'm doing something. So that's something I will always do. I'm back to eating on a good schedule. Woke up around, 11, 12. And, I stopped eating at 6. So I know tomorrow I'm going to feel a little better. I was eating a little later yesterday. So that might be kind of why I felt the way I felt. Also, too, I think lastly is I need to get to a point where I'm waking up the first kind of time I wake up instead of, waking up and then going back to sleep. That's something I'll go to sleep at maybe 12, or I'll go to sleep at 4, 3, something like that. And then I'll wake up at 9:45 and I'll go back to sleep because I'm I didn't get 7 hours or 6 hours. But realistically, I think that's just me kind of feeding into some of the content I watch where I'm thinking I absolutely need to get 7, 8 hours. And I've never, personally, I feel like I can be as efficient, if not more efficient, off of 5 hours than 8 hours. Because once I do that and I go back to sleep, then it takes me 2 hours to get, my energy right. Whereas if I wake up the first time, my energy is going to be there. It might take me 10 minutes, 15 minutes to have my energy where it needs to be. Whereas if I go back and try to get those extra 3 hours, it's going to take me 2 hours to have my energy where it needs to be. So just stuff like that I'm realizing, I'm noticing. So stuff I just have to fix, and hopefully it, helps me stay consistent with my mood and stay consistent with, the things I'm doing. So yeah, that's all I really had. Thanks for listening, and peace.
A nigga catching late night flights to the Bay. Just a mail 100 pounds back to the A. Jet boy trying to find out where I stay. So a nigga gotta go to sleep with the K. Chillin' at the crib, count money, watching belly.